Let's check out some new versions of the Kruger from Draken. First, we're going to start off with the automatic variant. That is right. We have a Valjoux 7750 inside this guy. So yeah, automatic chronograph with date complication. So going to be a little bit thicker. It is all grade 2 titanium. So that's pretty nice, keeps the weight down, although it does have a little bit of heft to it compared to the quartz variant. We have that guy here, so I'll probably finish up with that one. Let's start with this one. The case measurements are going to be pretty much the same with the exception of the thickness, so I'll make sure I recap the thickness when I go to the quartz variant. But on this guy here, the top measurement at the bezel is 44 millimeter. You can see the case kind of tapers in a little bit. So, but it'll present on wrist as a 44. The lug to lug is just shy of 50 at 49.5 millimeter. You can see the bracelet tapers or drops off immediately with that. The way the end link design is, you have drilled lugs. The thickness on this guy, 15.9 millimeter. Double dome sapphire crystal up top with AR coating. 22 millimeter opening for the lugs. Bracelet does taper down to 20 millimeter, and you can see they're all individual links. So yeah, sometimes they'll kink up like that. Just gently get them back in place, not a big deal. That's one of the design characteristics of having all the individual pieces. So it does have screw pin hardware, so pretty easy to size. You have screwed in 7 millimeter signed and loomed crown. Nice knurling on this, very easy to use. Has, did I write it down? I don't think I wrote it down. I think it's 100 meter water resist. Does it say on the case back? I think it does. These are prototypes, by the way. I want to say it was 100, but maybe it's 300. Oh, it's 100 meter. I did write it down. 100 meter water resist, and one of the coolest things about this, and the, well, not this one, on the quartz one, we'll talk about that actually, is you have options. On this one, it's in this dial configuration. So, and you have a bi-directional 60 click bezel, but you still do get options with this. So there's 3 different bezel insert options you can go with. This one is outfitted with the countdown bezel, which I kind of dig. I think in the Kruger lineup, I think I personally would go with a countdown bezel, this bezel. The other 2 options are a 12-hour, so you could track a second time zone, or you could go with a standard dive bezel, which is this guy here. You can see the difference? Just a reverse pattern. So it's just a little bit easier to time things, in my opinion. So say you go to a restaurant, I always think about that aspect of life for some reason. And they're like, hey, it's going to be like a 20-minute wait. Okay, no problem. So go ahead and spin the 20 over to the minute hand. And when the minute hand gets to the triangle, should be close to be seated at the restaurant or whatever the heck you're timing. But you could easily use a dive bezel to time it. It's just, it's easier for me to keep track of it on a countdown timer, just for me personally. So if we go ahead and start the chronograph on this guy, we can see that sweep of the chronograph hand. You get the running seconds, of course, at the 9 o'clock position, and then you have your other 2 subdials as your counter. You have your 30-minute up top, and then you have your 12-hour on the bottom. You can go ahead and stop that and reset it, and it snaps right back. Of course, I'll give you a wrist shot. There it is on my 7 1/4 inch wrist. It's a perfect size for a automatic chronograph, or even the quartz one. I'll show you that in a moment. But the 44 by just under 50 in titanium is nearly perfect for me. When you get that busy dial and everything like that, it kind of reduces it down a little bit. And the 44 doesn't seem such a massive watch. The clasp on this, actually really nice, double pusher, very smooth, because you have on the fly toolless micro adjust. Very easy to use. Now, these also come with these fabric straps. Single pass, and they are thin, thin, thin. Very comfortable. So, if we look at the quartz offering, this one you can get in a full lume dial, and this is the type A dial. The type B dial would be more in this configuration, but in the quartz. And then the date would be like over here or something. I'll put a link to the website down below so you can check it out. And then it'll hopefully make sense, because the price point on these automatics, which I suspect they did not make very many, is, I mean, if you outfit it, depending on how you do it, if you outfit it up with the bracelet and everything, which you should, the bracelet is good. It does have quick release spring bars. I forgot to mention that. This one's like 1,400 bucks. But if you go with the quartz offering here, so it has a Seiko Mecha quartz in it, a VK63 or 65, I think. So it's a lot thinner, way thinner. It's only 12.6 millimeter, and it's clearly lighter. Of course, it's on the fabric strap, so it's going to be lighter, but you can get it with the bracelet, and it's just going to be a lighter weight option. It'll be thinner on wrists and everything. Still that 60 click bidirectional bezel. I think being bidirectional also makes me want the countdown bezel versus the other two, or at least the 12-hour one. You could take use of that complication. As we have a bunch of divers already, right, guys? I mean, maybe you don't have a chronograph diver, but odds are you probably have another diver. So I say go with a 12-hour bezel or go with a countdown bezel, because odds are you probably don't have one of those. If we stop it and then we reset it, it just kind of snaps back. We'll pop this one on wrist. The price point on these, I believe with the bracelet, depending on what dial configuration you get, are going to be like either $425 or $450. Much more affordable as well. And I think you get the same vibe. So unless you're dead set on getting, I can't get that little flap it. I hate having to flap these back over. But once you do, man, that is a good color combo. This fabric strap is super comfortable, and I think it matches that. I would personally go with this one right here. I'd go with the Type A, full loom. The only thing I would change is I'd put a countdown bezel on it. That's what I would go with. That's actually probably what I will go with. I'll probably reach out to the owner here in a little while. But yeah, super fun, super comfortable. Has that military vibe, but then gives you all of that full loom that us loom junkies obsess about. Pretty cool packaging too. Also very military inspired packaging. So they have patches. They're hook and loop patches, super strong. And then they're on this Molly type packaging. So you could put it on some gear, I guess. But it, sorry, that was probably insanely loud. I apologize for that. But it comes on like these. This is how the watch will come. So you have the watch here and then the strap. And then you just pull it out. This is just thin like balsa wood or something. And in case you didn't know, these watches are also extremely cool. And there's a million different options for these, for different configurations. Like the offset crown and stuff. But, damn, this thing. These new Kruger variants, I think they're on pre-order right now, are stunning. These have been sitting underneath the studio lights long enough. I'm not even going to blast them with the UV light. We're just going to turn off the studio lights and you'll see how dang good the loom is on these. So full loom dial, the black dial with the dual colored loom. No real wrong choice here. They both look great. So whichever one you pick, I think you'll be happy with it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next vid.